have a post ready. Uh-oh. Oh, we're on the wrong cam. Ah. You're not supposed to see me yet. Let's see. Still haven't gotten my post out, so I'm sorry about that. We'll have another minor delay. 5 minutes late once again. That'll just have to do for today. Hope everybody's having a good day. Hope you had a good day at work. Getting home now. Have something fun to do this Thursday. At least I hope. Alright. Is this thing working? Okay, it looks like it's working. Let's jump right into it. Today is Thursday, January 29th, 2026. This is episode number 45 of Addressing the Issues. Go ahead and drop a like on today's episode, share with somebody you know, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Rumble. Try and share it today. Share it with family member, friend, cousin. Maybe not your dog. Or maybe your dog. Maybe your dog wants to watch this. I don't know. Just share it with a friend, family member, somebody. I'm trying to get more and more people in here. More and more people to hang out, chat. Make sure you chat today. I'll respond to all of them. And at the end, if you want to do a super chat, like I said, previous episodes, I'll definitely give you a good 5 minutes at the end with at least attempting to respond to it. So, it is being reported that there is a Nipah virus outbreak in India. According to the World Health Organization, Nipah is an animal virus that can also affect humans. Infection can cause fever, brain symptoms such as a headache or confusion, a cough, and difficulty breathing. Seems like we've had this before. Other symptoms include chills, fatigue, drowsiness, dizziness, vomiting, and diarrhea. The virus is naturally hosted in fruit bats and can transmit to other animals, then to humans. Sounding really familiar. And the virus can be transmitted directly from person to person. The virus has an incubation period of 3 to 14 days with up to a 45-day incubation period reported. Sounds really familiar, except for that case fatality rates are estimated at 40 to 75%. Most people that survive make a full recovery. However, 1 in 5 suffer long-term neurologic conditions. U.S. health officials are reportedly monitoring the situation. The outbreak has already triggered COVID-era travel restrictions in the country. This is India I'm talking about, not the U.S. yet. There are already 196 people under surveillance as of yesterday, up from 86 on Tuesday. The outbreak has, like I said, triggered COVID-era travel restrictions within the country. India only has 2 confirmed Nipah cases, just 2 confirmed, which were both nurses. However, Indian media reports that 3 others are symptomatic, including a doctor, a third nurse, and another medical staff personnel. One of the nurses is now currently reportedly in a coma after treating a sick patient. This is taking place 15 miles outside of Kolkata, the 3rd most populous city in the country. I believe it is West Bengal. Kolkata, West Bengal, if I'm not mistaken. Singapore and Hong Kong have already imposed travel restrictions on Indian arrivals, and Nepal, Thailand, Malaysia, and the Philippines are screening all new arrivals from India. Nipah has never been detected in the U.S., and the U.S. has placed all of India on a level 2 travel advisory as of today. The virus has never spread far from the Indian subcontinent before, after first being identified in 1998. Scientists believe that it has circulated from flying foxes for millennia, but they warn that a highly transmissible strain could emerge from bats. I think we've heard this one before. Nipah outbreaks have been reported previously since the virus was discovered in 1998, once in 1999, again in 2001, and almost every year since 2001. The virus has been linked to dozens of deaths in India since it was first discovered. A worrying thing about this is it sounds a lot like COVID SARS in China. Multiple outbreaks before the big one like we experienced in 2020. It comes from bats, has a long incubation period in hosts, and allegedly jumps to humans in a country hosting level 4 biosafety research labs for high-risk pathogens that, of course, we fund. This area is home to ICMR, National Institute of Cholera and Enteric Diseases, NICED, a BSL Level 3 gain-of-function lab that focuses on diseases like cholera and enteric infections emerging from viral diseases. Enteric diseases, meaning infections of the gastrointestinal tract caused by bacteria, viruses, or parasites, much like that of Nipah, that is suspected to be transferred to humans through contact with an infected person or consuming food or drink contaminated with the feces, urine, or saliva of infected fruit bats, pigs, and horses. That can also be infected and transmit the disease. I'm not going to say we've done it again yet. I think it'd be too early. But why don't we know what patient zero's occupation was yet? Was he a farmer? Was he working at the level 3 gain-of-function facility inside the city? And why did it once again happen so close to a gain-of-function laboratory? I don't think it's time to fear yet, but given what we've already experienced in previous years, previous outbreaks, it sound very similar to this one. I don't think it's time to get prepared, but just know what's going on. India isn't the only country that is performing these gain-of-function practices. It was reported this week that in November, a member of the NIH, or National Institute of Health, at the Rocky Mountain Laboratories in Montana was exposed to Crimean-Congo Hemorrhagic Fever, stating a deadly select agent, meaning a biological agent or toxin that has the potential to pose a severe threat to public health and safety, animal or plant health, or animal or plant product. According to the NIH, something that can be used as a bioweapon was released, lost, or stolen from the facility. This happened in November, and it was reported this week. This was uncovered by the White Coat Waste Project. This virus is used for maximum pain experiments on monkeys, something we've been told that we would defund. And this is the same lab that had performed coronavirus experiments before the COVID-19 pandemic and was linked to the Wuhan lab under Dr. Fauci through the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. NIH's Rocky Mountain Laboratories also deals with viruses such as Ebola, the plague, and you guessed it, Nipah. It seems that the administration's pledge to stop gain of function in bioweapons research has been futile. As a year in, we're still testing genetically modified viruses on animal subjects, on monkeys. And most worrying, we're still sending money to abroad to places like India to perform these gain-of-function research projects to the tune of millions. In fact, the NIH currently has 69 projects that they have or are funding, according to Reporter NIH, in conjunction with ICMR NIRBI, which was formerly ICMR NICED in India, which hosts a lab in the same area of the most recent Nipah virus outbreak. That's the same lab that we are funding in India. It's the same project. It's the same group of people. And we are now experiencing a Nipah virus outbreak there. I mean, how many times do we want to go down this road? How many times is too many? How much risk are we willing to take? I'd say we shouldn't take any. I don't think we need to take any risk on gain of function. It's proved so futile in developing vaccines. We need to stop this gain of function or bioweapon research at home, but we also need to stop funding it around the world to the tune of millions of dollars. Before we get another COVID situation, like which that came out of China, we need to stop giving these grants to countries around the world that have notoriously low safety thresholds, like that of the Wuhan Institute. It's not only unsafe, it's outlawed in the Geneva Conventions. Bioweapons research is illegal. You ever notice that they claim they're doing gain of function to mutate the virus in a controlled setting so that they can create vaccines for all variations of the virus? Yet, when the viruses leak out or are unleashed, they never have a vaccine for it. They aren't doing this for vaccines. They're doing this to create bioweapons. And this isn't the first issue from Rocky Mountain Laboratories either. It was used to research Lyme disease during the 50s and 60s in conjunction with the Plum Island Animal Disease Center, a place considered by some to be researching Lyme disease during its initial outbreak during the same time period in Old Lyme, Connecticut, which was just across the Long Island Sound from the Plum Island Animal Disease Center. There have been calls as recently as 2019 by Congress to investigate whether the Pentagon had any influence on Lyme disease, given it was working with insects and ticks as a vector for infectious disease outbreaks during the Cold War. So I think any normal, rational person should be against this gain of function research, especially given we spend millions of taxpayer dollars on it without any proven beneficial result. We never get vaccines. We never get better understanding of the viruses. The only thing we get are random outbreaks that cause in people illness and death and tortured animals. So I don't understand why we're still funding this. We should have learned our lesson with COVID. Yet we still fund more and more dangerous things such as this Nipah, such as the plague. And we still modify them looking for vaccines for diseases we haven't seen in actual hundreds of years in the U.S. Yet we're modifying them to create vaccines for them. I don't believe it. This is echoes of what is the... There's a organization in Japan during World War II that was doing bioweapons research that we notoriously took all their files and research from. Told them to give it over. We're going to use it ourselves. And now we have things like the NIH. We have, what was it called? Allergies and a National Institute of Allergies and Infectious Diseases, Dr. Fauci's node of the NIH, where he was performing these gain-of-function research, bioweapons research before the COVID outbreak. And we're still doing it. We're still killing beagles. We're still killing monkeys. And we're still funding it around the world to the tunes of millions of dollars. There are literally grants going to India for hundreds of thousands in conjunction with this, what was it? ICMR, NCIED. Spending millions of dollars in India on gain-of-function research probably isn't our best interest. Especially, like I said, given their notoriously horrible safety ratings, safety habits. Just like China, just like how we got COVID. We were told we would stop funding this. In fact, a lot of us voted for it. We voted that we would stop funding the NIH, stop funding gain-of-function research. And yet, today we're still doing it. We're not told when Crimean-Congo Hemorrhagic Fever leaks out from the laboratory. We're not notified for months after. And for some reason, we're okay with it. We're fine with our tax dollars quite literally possibly killing us, killing others. You know, most diseases don't care whether you're American or not. They'll still infect you. They'll still harm you. And we pay for it. That's literally where our taxpayer dollars go. It's insanity. Yet it continues. So hopefully we can get that stopped. You know, maybe call your congressperson. Maybe somebody call RFK Jr. Tell him I thought you were going to stop this. Why haven't you yet? I'd love to hear his voice when he responds to that. That'd be hilarious. But that's where we are with that. We're still funding gain-of-function. We're still funding the NIH, even if it could literally kill us. Great investment. We'll move on to our update on Iran. Today, the price of oil has spiked 2% per barrel due to fears of U.S. intervention in Iran. A post from True Social from yesterday, right about the time I started, pinned to the top of President Trump's page, reads, "A massive armada is heading to Iran. It is moving quickly with great power, enthusiasm, and purpose. It is a larger fleet headed by the great American aircraft carrier, Abraham Lincoln, than that sent to Venezuela." This is what it reads. "Like with Venezuela, it is ready, willing, and able to rapidly fulfill its mission with speed and violence if necessary. Hopefully, Iran will quickly come to the table and negotiate a fair and equitable deal. No nuclear weapons, one that is good for all parties. Time is running out. It is truly of the essence. As I told Iran once before, make a deal. They didn't, and there was Operation Midnight Hammer, a major destruction of Iran. The next attack will be far worse. Don't make that happen again. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump." In recent hours, fighter jets have been deployed to Jordan. I guess hours and days. Fighter jets have been deployed to Jordan. Multiple destroyers and combat ships are in port in Bahrain. New air defenses have been installed at Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. And the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group awaits in the Indian Ocean. Tankers, jets, electronic warfare planes, and supply planes have been leaving the U.S. and NATO bases, crossing the Atlantic Ocean towards the region in the last 24 hours. Many of these assets were used before. They were used in the staging before the intervention in Venezuela that captured Maduro. And today, the European Union has labeled the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps of Iran a terrorist group, signaling that they may be on board as well. Seemingly, a plane containing senior members of the Iranian government has departed Tehran, bound for Moscow in recent hours. Iran claims that they are ready for a state of war, but are also ready for negotiations if the U.S. vows to not attack during diplomatic processes. These negotiations are likely, like President Trump said, to center on nuclear weapons talks. These are nuclear weapons that have supposedly been at a threshold state for multiple years. They were supposedly destroyed in June of last year. Yet we're ready to fight a war over these, honestly, seemingly mythical nuclear weapons soon. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be the person that has definitive proof that they do or don't have them. But just given the situation, we've been told that they were on the verge of nukes for at least months, if not multiple years. I'm pretty sure it's been multiple years, probably closer to 10, that we've been told they're a threshold nation, that in a matter of months they could create these nuclear weapons, deploy them. All they have to do is put them on a missile, yet they've never done it. We were told that they were destroyed in June during Operation Midnight Hammer, yet somehow they're already repaired them all. They've already repaired their facilities and are ready to do it again less than a year out. Like I said, I'm not a person who would have inside baseball on this. I'm not a person that would know what was going on exactly in the Iranian regime. I don't have any sources there. But just given the way they speak, that they're going to use them, and they never do, and that they have them, but they never show them, I don't know how much I believe personally. I think this is just another ruse to get war in the Middle East, and I think we'll fall for it again. We remember weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Did we ever find any? No, we didn't. Did we find evidence? No. In fact, we found evidence that they were never there. And that's where we are now, it seems. Once again, another prolonged conflict, and Iran awaits unless we come to some agreement. It's probably going to be denationalizing their oil. That's my honest opinion as of right now. I think that's going to be one of the main points, is that they're going to need to let U.S. companies come in and sell oil. I don't know how happy Iran's going to be about that. If it all works out, and Marathon gas station can go over there and take their oil and make it cheaper for me, I guess I'm on board. But it's never worked out that easy in the past. We fought wars in that region for longer than I'd been alive. I mean, for basically since the end of World War II. Even in World War II, we fought in that region. And now it's all coming to a crux in Iran. I don't know if that's the right term. It's coming to a head there. This will be hopefully the last play in this prolonged Middle East affair. It's dated back to the 50s? 50s, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully this is the last play in this. I don't want to see us go to war there. I don't see a point in it. I don't see the point of stretching our supply lines, like I've said before, halfway across the world. But we've seen this set it up, and in recent memory, once we've set it up, we go in. So that's where we're at with Iran. I don't mean to be a doomer today. Viruses, war in Iran. I don't know. Maybe we're just a doom show. We do a little bit of fear mongering over here. And I guess lighter news, during the FBI raid on Fulton County's election headquarters, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard was spotted. This isn't a normal thing for the Director of National Intelligence to be doing, particularly when it could have been headed by the FBI Director Kash Patel. I don't know what this means. I don't know if this has international implications, is why the Director of National Intelligence is there, the head of 18 agencies, as opposed to just Kash Patel. Maybe Kash Patel's on the way out. Some of us could hope that. I surely might. But Director Tulsi Gabbard was there. During the same day, she has declassified Russia probe irregularities into President Trump's 2016 election yesterday. So it seems like she had a rather busy day on Wednesday, exposing Russiagate and then going down to Fulton County and looking into the heart of the 2020 election fraud. In one day is rather impressive. Maybe, she's just aura farming, whatever you want to call it. But she had a busy day, did a lot of work. President Trump reposted a statement that prosecutions are coming. We know who is behind the Russiagate hoax. That would be President Obama and his deep state, his intelligence apparatus. That would be Comey and crew. But maybe prosecutions are coming. I hope he's not lying. We can't live in a system with a deep state that undermines our elected officials. Operation Crossfire Hurricane and stuff was absolutely absurd once it had come out to public knowledge. I don't think anybody agrees with undermining your elected officials. You voted for them. They're there to do a job for a reason, yet they're being spied on by previous administration's intelligence apparatuses. But maybe we'll see prosecutions coming in the coming months. It'll take months, but this is a step. There's lots of irregularities in Fulton County, people saying ballots that look exactly the same, perfect circles filled in on all of them. Reporters claiming that the Georgia elections were expected to hold throughout the night, and then come morning, it seems that all 100% of the 2% of ballots, outstanding ballots, went to Joe Biden. Just irregularities in the Russia probe. So Tulsi Gabbard seems to have had her a pretty good day. And I guess our last story, new footage released yesterday showed Alex Pretti assaulting a federal agent, spitting on them, before vandalizing the car he was in just days before he was arrested. I believe this was January 13th he performed this stunt. So it seems with a little bit of law and order in Minneapolis, this could have been avoided. If he was arrested for assaulting a federal agent, vandalizing federal property, he would have been in jail as opposed to continue to be fighting federal agents. Like I said, these aren't normal people. They don't care if they live. And this is just another example. Somebody who continuously goes out and assaults federal agents, finally figuring out that there's consequences for his actions. You know, some people have been, oh, it's terrible that this happened. It's terrible that justice wasn't served the first time. That's the terrible part. He should be in jail right now. He shouldn't be 6 feet deep. That's my opinion, though. Some people, you know, are glad to see that somebody passed. I just wish that justice would have been served. I think if we served justice, he'd still be in jail today. You don't get out for assault and vandalism, particularly on federal agents, in, what would it have been, 2 weeks? He would have needed to go to trial. Guess he could have been bailed out, would have been on house arrest. He wouldn't have been there. Yet, seeing that we failed to ensure law and order in Minneapolis, which is definitely in part to their local police department, their local police forces, that somebody had to die. Obviously, like I said, he doesn't care that he did. He demonstrated that at least twice on video. Yet, just because local enforcement wouldn't help out ICE, it happened. So this is, once again, another one you can put on Tim Walz, Jacob Frey. But it wasn't the federal officer's fault. I'm not buying it. I'm just not. You gotta have law and order. You can't allow people to run around having an insurrection in your city and then say, oh, I didn't do that. No, you did. You did, Mayor Frey. You did, Governor Walz. You allowed this to happen. That's where we are today. It could have been avoided. It truly, truly, truly could have been avoided. Yet, local leaders aren't leading. You can watch the video. I retweeted it on my X account at Samuel_S_Jones. A lot of things I talk about, I retweet on there just so people have the evidence that it happened. I want you to think I'm making this stuff out of left field. But no, we have a gain of function crisis in our country, gain of function funding crisis. We shouldn't be funding it. We've got an Iran war at the doorstep. We've got an insurrection in Minneapolis. But at least, you know, we're going to hopefully have arrests for the deep state, possibly prosecutions, if President Trump is being truthful with us. That's where we are today. Make sure you guys are dropping a like, comment. I don't see any chats. I won't have anything to respond to today. That's quite all right. We'll get some tomorrow. Don't be afraid to chat as long as you're not driving. Don't drive and chat. It's dangerous. I don't need people wrecking with my stream on. That'd be kind of crazy. Officer's not going to like that. Especially if you're in Minneapolis. They'll hate it. But yeah, make sure you're subscribing on YouTube, following on Rumble if you'd like to. Subscribe on Rumble. I believe it's $5 a month. You can do it one time. You can do it monthly. You get little red highlighted chats. Like I said, if you guys want to do super chats in the future, you can do that. I'll devote a 5-minute segment at the end. I'd be doing it right now if there was one. Just whatever you want to talk about that day, whatever's on your mind. It could relate to the story. It could be something entirely different. Just pick my brain, and I'll give you a response. Make sure you guys are sharing the channel, sharing the live streams. I appreciate that every new person that comes in is helping with the algorithm, helping me defeat this algorithm that is obviously against me at this point. Yeah, that's where we're at right now. You know, comment at the end of it if there's anything you'd like to see me change, format-wise, anything, any improvements that you could suggest. I'll appreciate it. I'll listen to them all. Definitely consider all of them. I want this to be as enjoyable for everybody as possible. Like I said, time and time again, your viewership is definitely the most important part of this. So I appreciate you all for sticking around from the beginning to the end. A couple of you, actually quite a few of you, stuck around beginning to end. So I really appreciate that. So make sure you're dropping a like, and share with somebody. Somebody might want to hear this. Somebody might benefit from it. That's all we have for today. So I guess to my people on the East Coast, I hope you get home safe. To my people further west, I hope you finish up your workday strong and get home safe as well. I'll see you guys again tomorrow, Friday, at 4:45. I believe we're going to do the Olympic special. Oh, postscript note. I think we're going to do the Olympic special on Saturday. I don't have any guests lined up. I've been trying to work with a few people. Didn't work out, it seems. So I think we're going to do the Olympic special Saturday. Like I said, we're going to break down new sports, sports that are gone, other things pertaining to the Olympics, who's going, who isn't, my opinions on that. Little preview of interesting storylines going into it. Actually, that should be Saturday, so I'll be live for that. I believe I'm going to do it live. I may pre-record it. I think I'm just going to do it live and give you guys the opportunity to chat with me. But that'll be Saturday instead of, or in lieu of, searching for solutions. I think we'll just have addressing the issues. I guess it'll be 47, the Olympic special. It sounds pretty good. Everybody likes 47. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for sticking around. See you again tomorrow at 4:45 Eastern Time.